Alright guys, Hazink here, welcome back to the channel for another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. So, this one's a little bit exciting, really depends on your perspective on things, but I think it's quite exciting. So those pesky data miners have been at it again, and they have mined some interesting data from the files, and it allows us to see some upcoming characters or costumes. We have both that we're going to be receiving in-game. So let's take a look at that, shall we? So it's the list of some of the things that have been data mined from the game, and you can see that there is a few interesting tidbits on here that may get some fans excited for some things that's going to be upcoming at some point in the future. Some of these are a little bit easier to determine when in the future, others, who knows when they'll show up, but hey, at least we know we're going to get them. So if you look at through this list, you can see there's various things, right? But the first kind of thing that stands out to me is you'll notice that you can see CHR, which stands for character, Cloud, Halloween, right? If you move down, you've also got the same thing down here for Zack, CHR Zack, First Halloween. And if you move even further down, you'll also see CHR Sephiroth, Child Halloween, right? So young Sephiroth has been referred to in the files as child, right? So that obviously means that at the Halloween celebration, we are probably going to have, I would guess, a free-to-play costume and a banner that would give us two costumes. So if I had to bet on it, I'd probably say that it'll either be Cloud or it'll be Sephiroth that would be the event costume, because I don't see us getting another Zack event costume. It really wouldn't make that much sense to do that, because we've obviously had one already. We've also had two premium Cloud costumes already, so if I had to put money on it, I'd probably say that Cloud would most likely be our free-to-play costume, and the other two costumes would be the banner. So by using that logic, you could probably assume that in Halloween, the banner that we would receive would be young or child Sephiroth and Zack. So that would make sense, because if those were the units that had costumes, they would also be the units that would have featured weapons on the banner. So that would mean Cloud in the event, if it's anything like the current event, would have both a costume and a weapon that we would get from the Halloween event. So that is pretty interesting, and it is something for us to hopefully look forward to. We've also got another one on here that I found quite interesting. If you look through the list of characters, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 listed costumes for Child Sephiroth, but there is 2 for Standard Sephiroth. So that means he's obviously in there. Now, I don't know the way that the people who've done the data mining here have done this formatting, whether or not these are within the same character tree. But if that's the case, then that may well mean that Sephiroth and Child Sephiroth are considered the same character, which, even though they'll be different sprites within the game, that will hopefully mean they share the same pool of weapons, hopefully, which means potentially you wouldn't need to like summon for completely different weapon sets for them. Is that likely? Probably not. I mean, you know what it's like. If they can make money on something, they're going to try and make money on it. So maybe that's not what that means at all, but you can see there is definitely 2 costumes listed there for just Sephiroth, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Child Sephiroth. So maybe getting the more traditional version is something we would get not too far into the life cycle of the game. But again, when these costumes will be added, who knows. Now, another standout that I'm seeing is if you look at the second last line for Cloud, you will see Cloud dress. So that means Honeybee Cloud. We're going to get him in game. Obviously, that's quite an iconic moment in the original game. I don't know if it's as much of an iconic moment in the remake, but it certainly was in the original game. But looks like we're going to be able to get that Cloud in game as well, which is obviously going to be pretty good for players. the exciting one for me, the one I'm looking forward to the most, and we knew we'd get this, and I believe at some point we're actually going to get like standalone Dirge of Cerberus content, but you can obviously see here that Vincent is there. Obviously he's quite far out in the story. I mean, there's still a good bit to go in the story before we would actually get to him, so that could still be a while away, who knows exactly, but obviously you can see there that there's at least 4 costumes listed in the files for Vincent, so stuff to look forward to in that regard. And then at the bottom we've got Sid, again all fan favourites here, all things that players are going to be excited to get their hands on. Now, no doubt there probably is more that's been mined, but they're just not sharing it just yet. And obviously we don't have images and stuff like that, and you can see that there is a lot of additional stuff within the files. There seems to be a lot of costumes. I don't necessarily know how they're going to do that, because it seems a bit too many to have banners. Well, actually, do you know what? Saying that, we've already had 2 cloud costumes on 2 cloud banners, so maybe they are going to add these a lot faster than maybe I'm thinking right now. So again, while it looks like a lot right now, all it takes is the unit to be on 4 or 5 banners and you've got all these costumes. And 4 or 5 banners might seem like a lot, but you know what? We've already had 3 banners. There's 3 costumes available for Cloud right now. There is 2 costumes available for Zack. There's 2 costumes available for Aerith. And it's only 8 days into the game, so to be honest, they could get these out pretty fast if they wanted to. So I guess seeing this many, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a long time coming. They might be reasonably quick, we don't actually know yet. But I still think it's cool. I still think it's cool that potentially, well not potentially, I mean the date is there, so we're definitely going to be getting Halloween Cloud, Halloween Zack and Halloween Sephiroth. The only thing that kind of jumps out to me is it specifically says first Halloween. Now the only thing I can think of with that is that first soldier maybe? So I don't necessarily think it has anything to do with first Halloween event or first Halloween costume. I think it might just literally be like first soldier. But again, it's there. It's interesting because I guess Zack and Cloud, they kind of form the tutorial for this game. So I think they're considered the main characters, the protagonists. So it would make sense for them to be the protagonists, the lead for the Halloween event. And obviously Sephiroth is most likely going to have just launched within the Halloween window, because if they do this update and then drop the unit like it's been said they're going to do, I expect us to get him maybe a week or 2 before Halloween. So for him to then have his first proper rate up banner with a costume and stuff like that shortly thereafter makes total sense to me. So again, I don't expect him to be the free to play one. I don't expect them to do almost back-to-back events with free-to-play costumes for Zack. So just using that logic, it's kind of got to be Cloud, isn't it? It's got to be. But have a look at this, it's at the side anyway, you can see it there. There's quite a bit of information there. Some stands out to me as things I just know what they are off the top of my head. The main standout probably would be Cloud dress, so Honeybee Cloud. Obviously we've got Vincent, which is again something I'm looking forward to. And then we've got Sid, so there is some stuff there that's probably, hopefully, maybe not too far off. But it's definitely happening. Again, probably could have expected most of this, but at least to know it's there and kind of, at least from a coding point of view, ready to go. It's things to look forward to. I'm happy. If the Halloween event turns out to be what I think, I'll take a free costume and a free weapon for Cloud 100%. And if we get something quite cool for the Halloween costumes, I'd be down for that. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I've been Hazing, thanks for watching, catch you in the next one. Peace.